huge round of applause to Mr. and Mrs. Barker and Mr. and Mrs. Peterson. We love you guys. This is truly an incredible party. I was always of the belief that only royalty were allowed to get married in this place. I'm busy now, and for that reason, I'm going to give the rest of the speech in a British accent. It was a foggy day in Lower Oxford. I'm just kidding, I don't have a British accent. When Chris asked me to give the speech, quite honestly, I was shocked. Not because of the strength of our relationship, that is the strength of a rhinoceros's spine. Assuming that's wrong, I have no idea. Instead, I'm surprised because the best man is given the honor of delivering this very speech. And I can't believe Courtney let me be that person. Courtney, you are a very brave person, and for that, I love you. I love you dearly. I love you so much. I'm even more surprised that the two of you gave me the honor of delivering this exciting information to everyone here tonight. Courtney is pregnant.
I knew it! I knew it!
Woo! Woo! Okay, that's a lie. Courtney's not pregnant. She's trying to prove a point that giving me a microphone was a big mistake. That was a big mistake! It's too late now. It's too late now. I have it. You messed up. You messed up. So by now, many of you are wondering who the Joseph Gordon-Levitt is this guy. So please allow me to introduce myself in the form of chronology with my friendship, the groom, my best friend, Mr. Christopher Ryan Peterson. Chris and I first became best friends during our freshman year at Woodstock High School at the fully matured age of 15 years. We met during Spanish class, became better acquainted while playing MLB Showdown after school. For those of you who are not familiar, MLB Showdown is basically Magic the Gathering for people with hand-eye coordination. But it was our mutual dislike for another member of our outer circle of friends that really forged our bond. It's true, it's really true. This particular friend earned cheap laughs at the expense of others. And at the age where kids are supposed to just be mean, relentlessly mean to one another, Chris was nice to everybody. I didn't like this person because he made fun of me for being fat in 7th grade, but that's neither here nor there. The point is, our Venn diagrams overlapped in this very rare area. And because I'm a man of dignity, this friend will remain anonymous. Tim Tierney. During the next 4 years, Chris and I, along with 3 of the gentlemen at this table, became an inseparable group. Tyson, David, and Tim. Since our shenanigans are in no way relevant to the rest of the story, I shall summarize the remainder of our high school years in a series of inside jokes and references that'll be funny to no one here, really just the people here. Bad for Queen, concrete floors in Myrtle Beach, TWAP live performances, Scene in Dindy, Matthew McConaughey's jogging attire, Prairie Ridge's prom, Jason Stock's ability to stop us from going to Cubs games, Raccoon Eyes, Swim Fan, your phone in 1,000 pieces on 47, and am I crying? I am, I'm crying! Yeah. You'll be shocked to hear this, but all of us went to college. Which is proof that higher education has ridiculously low standards. Let's fast forward the story to 2009. I had moved to San Diego to convince Chris to come down and visit me from Portland, Oregon. At the time, Chris was working 90 hours a week, making somewhere near minimum wage in the process, in a relationship that has been described as girlfriend Mageddon. And due to his workload and geographic positioning, saw the sun only on leap years. I knew that if I played my cards just right, I could get him to come and move down and join his good old buddy in San Diego. So, I pulled out all the stops. Sunshine, alcohol, few months later, Chris was settling into his new home in San Diego. A few months after that, and we had become roommates. Somewhere in that process, we'd also become colleagues, working in the front office for the San Diego Padres.
Woo!
Yes, the same two 15-year-old boys who had forged their bond playing a fantasy baseball card game were now working together in a baseball stadium in San Diego. Simply put, we were living our dream life. When we weren't at work, we could be found doing one of three things. One, playing basketball in a beautiful park overlooking beautiful Coronado Island. Two, playing NFL Blitz on the Nintendo 64 I won every single time. Every time. Or three, and most likely, at the bar. During one such post-work outing, we were at the tavern with my then-girlfriend, who just so happened to be a San Diego Padres cheerleader. And we were meeting up with her fellow cheerleader friends. As they arrived to the bar, I nudged Chris with my elbow, the universal guy code for jackpot. And looked over at him, only to notice that he was transfixed and noticeably blushing. This is impressive considering we were in a dimly lit bar. This, in and of itself, was not too surprising. He was surrounded by cheerleaders, and awkward gawking was his lone pickup tactic. You are cheerleaders, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. Everybody knows it. There's just so much spirit. But when this persisted for several minutes, I had to ask, what's up? Her, he said, third from the left. She's beautiful. It didn't take a rocket scientist to conclude that our young Christopher was smitten. Naturally, I suggested that he go strike up a conversation with his young lady. Of course, he said no, citing a certainty of failure as his reasoning. It was at this point that I threatened Chris's life if he didn't go over there and talk to her right now, as any good friend would do. He did. When he returned, I asked how it went. With a childlike giddiness, he said, "Great, we're getting drinks this week. Her name is Courtney." And here we are today. Yes! Love! X's and O's! Hearts and whatever else. To say that Chris is going to make a good husband is sort of like saying Spider-Man would make a good rock climber. It's as foolproof as predictions get. Chris is selfless. An extreme example of this was a time where we were walking home after playing basketball. Probably doesn't even remember this. As we were approaching my apartment, he clasped both hands around my shoulders as if he were about to throw me down to the ground. I looked up at him the way that you look at a friend who's starting an impromptu street fight, only to notice that a car was coming to a screeching halt in front of us. He was about to throw me out of the way with no regard for his own life. Do you remember that? I do, so fuck you. Stand ups!
Whoops.
Sorry.
Whoops.
Chris is a caretaker. When I tore my ACL in high school, Chris brought me a Cubs blankie. I still own this. You cannot make this up. He really brought me a Cubs blanket. That is a true story. Chris is chivalristic. He continues to hold doors open for me. Even though I tell him to stop every single time. It is demasculating. Chris, please stop doing that, alright? You're married now. You have a wife you can do that for. And Courtney, you really are Chris's better half. You are welcoming, you are loving, you are fun, and you are fun-loving. You're smart, you're dedicated, you're one of the hardest workers I've ever met. Seriously, 40 hours per week is a week off for you. You're disciplined. I've never met anyone who's done more juice fasts in their entire life. I don't even think I've ever seen you eat before. This is amazing. And quite frankly, with how seamlessly you mesh in with our circle of friends, at 34%, you are certifiably insane. And I love you for this. But above all else, you make Chris, my best friend, the happiest man on this planet. And for that, I love you. As the president of Chris's decision-making committee, and unfortunately, this is a real thing. If you want to ask me about it, find me at the bar on this dance floor. I hereby give you, Courtney, the formal stamp of approval. This marriage is now official. I love you so much. Let's hug it out. Let's hug it out. You drop one F-bomb and then turn the mic off.